Press your fingertips into the earth and slide the crown of your head forward towards the front of the room. On side 2. Maybe it's stillness or a gentle moving of the heel forward and back. But can you slide the ears back so your head is in line with your heart as you really listen for your breath? Take a longer breath in and a clear, steady breath out. And now make your way back to table. Come to your neutral spine. Walk those hands a handprint forward of your shoulders. Bring your knees back behind your hips, and with your hands as wide as your mat, tuck all 10 of your toes under, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take as much time and as many breaths as you'd like to find your way there. In this first down dog of class, peek at those hands, see if they shifted. Can that pointer fingers point straight ahead towards the front of your mat? Can you press so much through the fingertips that your wrist creases start to get lighter up off the earth? And now take a full breath in, let it fill you up. Stay for your exhale, push through your arms to lift your hips up and back to the wall behind you. At the bottom of your breath, lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to walk it into your forward fold. You might have blocks underneath your hands so the floor really meets you where you are. You might widen your feet an inch or two, or even soften your knees, all in service of giving your low back some extra space. But as you bow in towards yourself, I can bring you some props. Let your head be heavy, maybe even gently nod your head yes, or slowly nod your head no, as you see what gravity can do for you. And now at the bottom of your breath, climb your hands up onto your hips, stand through your legs, and a big inhale to come all the way up to stand as you release your hands by your sides. On your next inhale, reach your arms forward and up to get tall. And as you exhale, soften your knees, hinge at your hips to fold over your legs. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, hands to shins or blocks as you reach your chest forward. And exhale to plant your palms and step it back to plank pose, the top of your push-up. With your knees up or down, can you feel your index fingers? Look at them and let them point straight ahead. And now without moving your hands, hug your palms towards each other. Feel your forearms and your biceps engage. Now slide your ears back so your head is in line with your heart. A big breath in. And on your exhale, bend your elbows to lower all the way down onto your belly. Hands as wide as your mat. Inhale to rise for cobra or baby cobra as you lift up through your heart. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog, tabletop, or puppy pose for 3 slow, steady breaths. That breath moves first in the direction of your heart. The heart begins to awaken and illuminate your mind. Here's a bolster and block for you in case you need it. And the mind awakens the full agency of your body. And in this practice, that we get the gift to see all parts of ourselves together, the body that you're in, the breath that you have, and the very spirit of who you are. Let the breath pour itself in and through you, and a longer breath out in every direction. As you find your next breath, lift your heels high, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, to your standing forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway, grow longer through your spine, reach your chest forward, and exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Take a breath in to rise, stand through your legs, reach up, get a drop taller than you were before, and exhale to let your hands come down by your sides. One more time, follow your breath more than my voice. Inhale to reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Take your entire inhale to lengthen halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale to step it back to plank pose. With your hands as wide as your mat, pointer fingers pointing straight ahead, hug your palms together, slide your ears back so your head is in line with your heart. A big breath in, and exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for your inhale to rise, Cobra Bhujangasana. Hug your palms towards each other, hug the shoulder blades together, and exhale to take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. A full steady breath in. And as you exhale, offer every drop of that breath out. Without actually moving your hands in your down dog or table or puppy, can you energetically hug your palms towards each other from right to left? You'll feel those forearms, your biceps, even your shoulder blades engage. And now keeping the palms hugging in from in between your shoulder blades, push your arms down and forward to lift your butt up and back to the wall behind you. A deep breath in and a longer breath out. And at the bottom of your breath, lift the heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, your standing forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway, reach the chest long, let the balls of your feet be heavy, and exhale to fold, bowing in. Use your own fists and measure your feet 2 fist width distances apart. And now with all 10 toes pointing straight ahead, bend your knees, climb your palms up onto your thighs, and sit back into chair pose, Utkatasana. Think hips to the back of your mat as you lift your heart up to the sky. And again, just like Marshy's showing, if you want to add some heat in the upper body, you can reach your arms up overhead. But can you guide your knees open towards your second and third toes as you take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale, hinge your hips back as you lift your heart up to the sky. And now inhale to rise, stand through the legs, reach up, get a drop taller. Exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge, and come high up onto your blocks or fingertips on either side of that right foot. Wiggle your left toes back another inch or two so you get a drop longer in your stance. And now with your fingertips touching blocks or the ground, keep the right knee bent, take a big breath in to lift your chest up, and exhale to fold and straighten your right leg into pyramid pose. Let's go through that twice more. Inhale through to lunge, bend your right knee, lift your heart. Exhale to fold and straighten your right leg. One more time, take your whole inhale to come through to lunge. And as you exhale, fold and let the right leg straighten. Pause once the right leg is straight. Lift your back heel higher away from the ground. And as you push through your left foot, can you wrap your left hip forward towards the top of your mat so the right hip can tack back? Notice where the sensation travels to in the back of your right thigh. Now keep the legs where they are. Take a big breath in, grow long through your spine. Stay for your exhale, or you might soften your elbows and bow in towards that right leg. On your next inhale, back it up. Bend your right knee. Step the left foot forward to meet your right to come back into your forward fold. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Feel the fronts of your feet as heavy as your heels. And exhale to fold, bowing in. With your feet 1 or 2 fists width apart. One more time. Toes pointing straight ahead. Bend your knees. Sit your hips back. Utkatasana, round 2. Maybe hands to thighs. Maybe hands to hips. Maybe arms up overhead. But as you listen for the sound of your breath, take a breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Let the hips sit heavy to the back of your mat as you lift your heart up to the ceiling. And now inhale to stand. Reach the fingers up. Get a drop taller. As you exhale, fold and bow in. Keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot back to catch the lunge. And as you come high up onto your fingertops or blocks on either side of the left foot, wiggle the right toes back just a centimeter more so you get longer. Stay in your lunge, fingertips on the blocks. As you inhale, lift your chest, grow long through your spine. And exhale to fold and straighten your left leg. 2 more times with your breath. Inhale through to lunge, bend the knee, lift your heart. Exhale to fold and let the left leg straighten. 1 more time, big breath in. How long can your spine get to the front of the room? And exhale to fold as the left leg straightens. Once you straighten the left leg, pause here in this version of pyramid pose. The higher you lift your right back heel, the more room it'll give your hips to move. You'll be able to wrap your right hip forward, and the left outer hip can tack back, hoping you feel that in the back of your left thigh. Now keep the legs steady as you inhale, come up halfway, let the spine grow long. Stay right here as you exhale, soften your elbows and fold as you bow in. Take 1 more breath in, let it fill you up. Stay for your exhale, try to soften the grip of your fingers around the blocks, around the floor, and your jaw. Now on your next breath, back it up, bend your left knee, plant your palms on the sticky mat, and step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels one at a time and notice any difference that you feel from one side to the other. On your next inhale, come forward to plank pose, the top of your push-up. Hug the legs together, hug the palms together, and slide the ears back so your head is in line with your chest. Big breath in. And exhale to bend your elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Reach your arms alongside of you. Flip your palms down to face the floor. We'll come up for a moment in locust pose, but before we fully lift, feel your legs back in space again. And they don't have to touch, but energetically hug them towards each other as if they can feel like one long pillar. Now shrug your shoulders to your ears, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, float your arms up off of the earth, and exhale to let your legs lift up and away from the ground. As you lift everything but your hips, try to soften your eyes, soften your brow, and really listen for the sound of your breath. With each inhale, think inner thighs towards each other and inseams of your pants towards the sky, maybe clearing some space in the low back. Now hug the shoulder blades together. Lift your palms 1 more centimeter. Big breath in. And on your exhale, release. Lower down. Make a pillow with your hands or rest on your cheek or on your forehead. Close your eyes for a moment and really listen for the sound of your breath. A bigger breath in and a longer breath out through every fiber of you. If you're on a cheek or on one of your palms, switch sides and take 1 more full 3-part, 3-dimensional breath. Breathe into your belly, the sides of your waist, the back of your heart, and exhale to let all of that breath go. We'll stay on the floor for a moment and take one of the first of the thigh stretches. So you can keep a pillow with your left palm. Let your forehead rest on your left hand. Bend your right knee and reach your right hand back for the right foot. For half frog, Ardha Bekasana. As you grab the foot, a sock, the leg of your pants, listen for the breath. So with each inhale, press your right thigh down into your sticky mat. Hug your thighs towards each other from right to left. And now as you shrug your right shoulder up and back, begin to draw the right heel towards your tush and notice what you feel in the right thigh. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. And on your inhale, release the hold of that right leg. Switch, pillow with your right palm, bend your left knee, and reach the left hand back for the left toes. It's less about how close the heel and the butt can become together, but the actions that we take in this shape. So can you press down into the floor with your left thigh, hug your inner thighs towards each other. And as you shrug your left shoulder up and back, take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Begin to move the left heel towards your tush as you press your left thigh into the floor. Now inhale to release the hold of the leg. Bring your hands to either side of your chest. Press yourself up through to tabletop or plank pose. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. From your down dog, float the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor. And for an extended side angle, bring your right forearm to the top of your right thigh and start with your left hand on your hip to begin to steady the ground beneath you. Check to see that the right knee and toes are pointing straight ahead. And as you shrug that left shoulder up and back, slide the ears back. You can keep this hand on your hip. You might reach the left arm to the ceiling, or you might sweep it over your ear towards the front of the room. But as you inhale, hug your feet towards each other from front to back. With each exhale, slide the shoulders back and the ears back. You can stay here breathing. If you want to add a little heat in the torso, keep the right elbow bent, slide your right elbow to the inside of your right thigh and create some resistance. Press your elbow into your thigh, press your thigh back into your elbow, and from your belly button, start to turn your chest open to the left, maybe up to the sky. A big breath in. Stay for the exhale and bend 1 more inch into that right thigh. And now reach the left arm back towards the wall behind you. Inhale to rise for warrior 2. Stay for the exhale and bend 1 more inch into that front leg. Press the right leg straight. Take a breath, get long in every direction. And for triangle pose, bring your right hand to your block or to the floor on the inside of your right foot for today. Let your right hand hold on to something solid, block or the ground. And as you feel your feet against the earth, hug them in towards each other from front to back. Now as you pull your feet in together, press your right hand straight down into its support and reach your left fingertips 2 more inches as if you could hold on to the rafters above you. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale, slide the shoulders back, the ears back to lean back against yourself. And now on your next inhale, look to the ground, bend your right knee, plant your palms, and take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels, notice any difference that you feel and see. And now on your next inhale, second side, lift the left leg to the sky. Step it through or around to catch the lunge. And on your inhale, come on up to rise for extended side angle. Left forearm to the top of your left thigh. You can start with your right hand on your hip. Maybe the right arm reaches to the ceiling or overhead towards the front of the room. But as you feel both feet on the ground, hug your legs towards each other. And as you hug the legs together, press down into that left forearm, shrug the left shoulder up and back, and slide the ears back as you take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale, bend into that left thigh. Now stay right here for a few breaths, or to add that oomph in the torso, left elbow, bring it to the inside of your left thigh. Press your left tricep into the left thigh and the left thigh back, and use that resistance to turn your chest open to the right, maybe even up to the sky. Take 1 more breath in. Stay for your exhale, and then reach back through the right hand like someone's tugging you to rise. Inhale to warrior 2. Exhale to bend into the front leg. Press the left leg straight. Take a breath. Get long through the fingertips. Look away from the floor. And as you exhale, Trikonasana, left hand to your block or to the earth on the inside of that left foot for today. Once your hand holds something solid, with your feet steady against the earth, energetically hug your thighs towards each other from front to back. And as you pull the feet together, press straight down into that bottom hand and reach the top arm up to the sky. Can you lean back against the steadiness you've created as you take a full breath in? Stay for 1 more exhale. And then on your inhale, unwind. Look to the earth, bend your left knee, plant your palms, and take it back to downward facing dog. From this down dog, lower your knees down onto the floor. Come into tabletop. You can sit back onto your heels, shake out your wrists, sip some water, and take a breath or 2. Fans? Are okay? Yeah, there's a thumbs up. As soon as I see the 1 thumbs up, it's going on. Because you'll need them for what we're about to do next. So, from your table, if you could, some of us have done this together already, some of us this is new, but bring your blocks to their highest height, somewhere to the middle of your mat, as wide as your mat. Marcy's going to show it up front. So bring them nice and wide at their highest height. And now come into tabletop and bring your palms in front of the blocks onto the floor so that your forearms will come behind those blocks, or in front of the blocks. That's it. So just like Marcy's showing, palms are on the ground as wide as your mat. Blocks are behind your forearms. And now walk your knees back behind your hips. So you're in this knees down plank pose. Now look forward, take a breath. What I'd like for you to try is see if you can lower down onto the floor without your elbows touching the blocks. Just see what happens. Yay! Oh, Marcy had a good spoiler alert. And then when you want to come up, press up into an awkward tabletop and sit back onto your heels. Nice. How'd that go? Well, spoiler, we were here yesterday, but it might feel different than yesterday, hopefully. All right, so like I mentioned, we're moving towards arm balances today and for the whole month. And every arm balance is a big hip opener on top of chaturanga in the arms. And so when my teacher first taught me this variation of chaturanga, things really clicked for me in my mind. So if it works for you, feel free to use it. And if it doesn't, we'll find something else. But the idea of what Marcy's going to show, the blocks are as wide as your mat, just for reference so that your torso has some space to get through. And what we're trying to do, some of you might have lowered, if you can demo, if you feel okay, before lowering. Oh my God, perfect, yes. Okay, that was creme de la creme, what we were looking for. The other variations of sometimes what happens are the elbows go off to the sides, and you're like, I didn't hit the blocks, which is great. But the idea is, if you now are going to start to balance your whole body weight with your elbows going off to the sides, it's going to be a slow ice cream melt down to the earth. So what Marcy showed really sweetly is you're thinking, how far forward can the chest go so that when she bends the elbows, you see the elbows are over the wrists, blocks aren't even being touched. And now she's working, I know, and then you melt down onto the floor. But the idea is in chaturanga, you're trying to go forward with the chest. When you bend the elbows back, it creates a pillar of stability in the forearms. You have it in you for one more time. Can I show one more thing? And the thing I want you to notice about what she's doing so beautifully is that these shoulder blades are really coming together on the back. It's not nose dolphin dive to the floor. It's the shoulder blades that are really hugging in.
So are we supposed to kind of keep our hips up, like your hips are kind of higher?
Well, the knees, they can be, and then, yeah, they can be. But they don't have to be. Yeah. So you can do this one with the knees down variation. You can also do it with the knees lifted. And still think of that forward moving energy is what we're looking for. Can we try it one more time? See how it feels different? Yeah. So here, come into your tabletop one more time. Index fingers point straight ahead. And with your knees up or down, you walk your knees back a few inches behind your hips. Now look forward, reach your chest forward, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, can you reach your chest so far forward that when you bend your elbows, you don't even touch the blocks? Yes! And then you land on your belly. You might do an awkward cobra. I know the blocks are there, but just see what it feels like as you lift your chest up. And exhale to take it back to tabletop. Did that feel different for anyone? Did you feel yourself maybe going further forward than you normally would? Okay. Keep that in your mind. Clear the blocks off to the side. And come on back to downward facing dog, please, as you lift your hips to the ceiling. All right, feel the imaginary blocks behind your forearms in down dog. And now inhale through to plank pose with your knees up or down. Feel the imaginary blocks behind your forearms and go so far forward that when you bend your elbows, you lower, shoulder blades hug together. Inhale for cobra, press the feet down, lift your heart up, beautiful. And exhale to take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. From your down dog, walk your feet to come as wide as your mat. Teeny bend in your knees, and one palm at a time, walk your hands back to meet your feet so you fold somewhere at the back of your mat. Let the knees be soft, let your head be heavy. Your fingertips might touch the floor out in front of your feet, or you might grab opposite elbows, but take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. After a few breaths, climb your hands up onto your hips, stand through your legs, and an inhale to come all the way to rise. As you release your hands by your sides. We'll come in for a shoulder stretch. So I like to hold a strap between my hands when I take this variation. It gives my chest a lot more room. Or if you want to interlace your fingers, you can do that too. But start with your hands behind you, either holding a strap or fingers interlaced. With your elbows bent, take a breath in to lift your chest up, get tall. And now as you exhale, hinge at your hips, fold over your legs, reach your arms off of your tush up towards the ceiling for a chest opener. Now, as you fold, you might see your knees in space and just see if they've locked out. You might take a tiny bend in your knees. Let the fronts of your feet be heavy. Now, with your arms overhead, it's a little harder to see, but maybe your elbows locked out. So can you find a tiny bend in your elbows? And now with some resistance, tug your strap apart, tug your fingers apart, and bring the shoulder blades closer together on the back of your chest. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then slowly release your hands down to your tush, ditch your strap to the side, and one palm at a time, walk your hands back forward towards the top of your mat to downward facing dog. From your down dog, float your right leg up and back. For core plank, as you exhale, draw your right knee to your nose. Now bring the shoulders right over your wrists. Lift your left back thigh higher, lift your butt higher, and into that, can you carve the right knee 1 more centimeter forward? Inhale to reach up and back through the right leg. 1 more slightly different. Draw your right knee to your right shoulder. Flex the right foot. As you lift your left thigh, lift your butt higher. Look forward and scoop the right thigh 1 more inch forward. Inhale to reach the right leg up and back. Whew. And as you exhale, bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand for lizard lunge. Yay! Everyone lower your back knee down onto the floor or a blanket. Come high up onto your fingertips or blocks underneath the shoulders themselves. So I'll talk through some variations. In this lizard lunge, you can stay right here, hugging the legs towards each other. You might walk your hands forward of your shoulders like they would be in down dog, walking the palms forward and wider than your shoulders. If you want to add a little zest in the back leg, perhaps you tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee and thigh up off the ground. But any variation that you're in, the back knee down, the back knee lifted, your hands under your shoulders or hands forward, listen for your breath. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Can you feel your hips move to the back of your mat as you lengthen your chest towards the front of the room? And now on your next breath, walk your hands back under your shoulders, lower the back knee, take a breath, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Plant your palms, step back through the right foot, and notice what you feel from side to side. Pedal the heels and listen for the breath. Okay, last time together, picture the imaginary blocks behind your forearms. Inhale through to plank pose, knees up or down. Slide the heart forward, and as you exhale, bend your elbows without hitting the imaginary blocks, shoulder blades together. Inhale for cobra, hug the shoulder blades in, and exhale to take it back to downward facing dog. Those look beautiful, y'all. Take a breath. See what you feel. And now last side, lift the left leg to the sky. For core plank, draw your left knee to your nose. You can always tap your left toes to the earth, but lift your right thigh higher, lift your butt higher, and into that, carve the left thigh 1 more inch further forward. Big breath in to reach the left leg up and back. Last one, exhale, left knee to left armpit. Flex the foot, lift the back thigh, lift the booty up, look forward and draw the thigh 1 more inch forward. Inhale to reach the left leg up and back. And as you exhale, lizard lunge, left foot to the outside of your left hand. Yay! Let's all start with the back knee down for a moment. Build it from the ground up. Come high up onto your fingertips or blocks. And as you inhale, lift your chest. Really listen for the breath. Stay right here as you hug the left heel back, hug the right thigh forward. Or maybe you begin to walk your palms 1 hand at a time forward of your shoulders. Maybe you tuck the back toes and lift the back knee and thigh up off the earth. But in any variation that you're in, really listen for the breath. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Each exhale, think hips move to the back of the room as your chest reaches forward towards the front of the room. Let the back of your neck get longer in each direction. Good. If your hands are forward of the shoulders, walk them back. Step the left leg back to meet your right, and we meet again in downward facing dog for a breath. Your choice here. Stay breathing exactly where you are. You might lower your knees to the floor and take a couple of breaths close to gravity in table or child's pose. Or your breath might take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. No wrong answer. Anywhere you choose to go, can you offer it to your breath? Longer breaths in. And clear, steady exhales out through every direction of your being. As you make your way with your next breath, let's all meet in tabletop. You can sit back onto your heels, shake the wrists out, take a couple of breaths as you are. Getting warmer-ish? Yeah? Okay. We made it. We're going to balance on the arms. So some variations, I can bring some props over to you if you need them, but we'll use 2 blocks and a bolster or 2 blocks and a blanket. And today we're going to work towards a pose called Ekapada Kundinyasana 2. All these poses have very long, elaborate, beautiful Sanskrit names, and then they end with A, 2, B, C, which we love. But this one, like I mentioned before, we've done triangle pose, we've done extended side angle, we've done a lot of these similar variations, and now it's about bringing chaturanga on top. So we'll try it twice on the right and twice on the left. Essentially, you remember this one that we did a while ago? Think chaturanga in the arms. This is what it's going to look like, but your hands are on the floor and your legs are lifted. The idea is, Marcy's going to set it. Do you want to do it or you want me to show? You do it. Okay. Okay. So the aim of this one is your hips and pelvis will never lift up off the bolsters. But what I'm trying to emphasize is how far forward you have to bring your chest so that you have room for other parts of you to lift. So it depends. I'm going to stack 2 bolsters, and then I have one of those thin bolsters, the thin, heavy ones. So I'll bring it over like this. If you have the lighter, fluffy ones, you might just need 1 bolster, but you have to find your own Goldilocks moment, and I can also come help you figure it out. But you stack yourself up here, 2 blocks and a bolster, and then as you hover in your down dog, you lift a leg, and you come into that lizard lunge that we were just in a moment ago. And now, your entire hips and pelvis will land on the bolsters and block. You want to think, not your chest or belly, bless you, nor your knee, but the weight of your pelvis. That's what's getting supported. And now as you find length, with each inhale you get longer. With each exhale, you soften between the shoulder blades. Yeah? This is going to be bust up 1. You'll get a phenomenal hip opener. You'll get a lot of length. And you'll get a lot of support. So if you see what I'm showing next and you're like, I really don't want to do that, please don't. You can stay here. The next option is your arm and your leg come together to touch. And now as if you had the imaginary blocks behind your forearms, I'm thinking chest so far forward that when you bend your elbows, the back leg gets lighter. It's less about a hoisting it up off the floor, but like a seesaw, I'm tipping my chest forward so the back leg can lift. And now this right thigh might rest on top of the right arm, and it lifts up off the earth. I know we're close in space here, but if you negotiate with some friends, you might even straighten this leg like triangle pose. Extended side angle, triangle. Extended side angle, triangle, yeah? And when you don't want to do it anymore, tip, tip. Yesterday in class, Kathy came and the whole time she was like, just laying like this. So if this is what you would like to be doing, please do it. It's a great restorative child's pose, and you get a lot through observation. But the idea is hips stay on the bolster, and we're going chest forward so the back leg can lift. Should we try it out? Yes, great question. So the other side, that's a good thing for me to show. So the question is, what's this chicken wing arm doing, the one that you didn't see? There's lots of options, yeah? As you bend, you can let it come to rest on your rib cage and use it as another point of support. But if you're thinking chaturanga in the arms, I'm thinking chest forward, elbow is free. But Keyshawn asked a great question yesterday, which is, what are the hands doing? I'm trying to, without moving them, hug them together like this and pull them back this way, like 2 90-degree angles to lift the chest up. I'll talk you through all of it. And if some things land, great. If some things don't, also great. But we'll see what it feels like. So give yourself a moment to set up your blocks and bolster. Does anyone need some? I can bring some. Oh, yay. You can also do a blanket if you want, but we'll bring some bolsters over to you. Either one. Mm-hmm. Blocks, bolster, coming. Yeah, and bring them somewhere to the middle of your mat. Was there 3 hands or 2? 3. I'll bring the 3rd. Set them up somewhere in the middle of your mat. And now make your way to your down dog with your chest hovering over the bolsters themselves. Everyone have everything you need? Okay, take a couple of breaths in your down dog to start. Thank you. As you find your way to down dog, lift your right leg to the sky. Draw your right knee to the right foot to the outside of your right hand for that lizard lunge. And now lower your pelvis, the top of your left thigh, onto the bolster. You might need to do a little wiggle to go back and forth. Before we lift, think chest forward. Grow long through the spine and soften the jaw. And now if you want to do something different, let your right arm and your right leg touch. Let them make out with each other. And now think chest forward. Bend your elbows like you could clear the imaginary blocks. And the further forward your chest goes, the left leg might feel lighter. Maybe it's just the big toe. Maybe the right thigh rests on top of the right leg and the right toes walk to the right as you lift the right foot up off the floor. Maybe you look at the right foot, say hi to it. Maybe if there's room, you straighten the right leg like triangle. Hug the shoulder blades together, lift your heart, and when you do not want to do it anymore, like a seesaw, you tip your palms back, lower the feet, and rest. Okay. Huh? Huh? Questions? Conundrums? It is unbalanced, I know. Try, for you with the squishy bolster, see what one block feels like instead of two, because sometimes the squishier the bolster, it's a little tougher. And then if you can, clear the blanket so that it's on the sticky mat. Should we try the other? Yes.
How do I, and maybe this is a longer question, I want to get my knee up,
Yeah.
but then I feel the tightness here, which means that this needs to be stretched out, but it's like this front portion.
Yeah.
It's more hip opener.
It's more hip openers, and it's also just, I hate this answer the most, but I'm like, it's naturally this hip, you're compressing it quite a bit, so you will feel compression there. But the idea of what I try to think of, it all really comes back to my hands. The more I hug the hands, the more I lengthen the chest forward, the more space it gives me in that outer hip. And also you might notice one side feels wildly different than the other. So when we try the second side, they might also feel the same. When we try the second side, we'll see what other questions come up. So round 2, downward facing dog. Different side, we got 2 legs. Not 6 legs, 2. Hover over the bolster and blocks and take a breath here. Let yourself arrive. And now lift your left leg up. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand and lower your hips, the top of your thighs, your pelvis onto the bolster. Take a breath. Even without lifting the leg, can you hug your palms towards each other? Hug your hands back towards the block and think chest forward. Notice where in your upper back engages. Now let your left arm and your left leg make out. Let them kiss. And as you reach your chest forward, bend your elbows, clear those imaginary blocks. Maybe the back leg feels lighter. Maybe the left thigh rests on top of the left arm and the left toes lift up off the floor. You might look at the left foot, say hi. Maybe straighten the left leg even for a second, like triangle, shrug the shoulder blades together. And then when you don't want to do it again anymore, push into the floor to tip your feet back. Whee! How'd the second side feel? Better. Some people it feels better. Some people, I'm like, who is this leg? Who is this hip? But it just goes to show the asymmetries that we have in our body and being, which are helpful. So, okay, as promised, I said twice on the right, twice on the left. That was once on the right, once on the left. So I'll show you one more variation. It goes from, okay, I kind of understand what's going on, to like, what the hell just happened very quickly. But this next variation, if you got to this and you're like, you know, I'm curious about what it would feel like to be off of the support. You can be off of the support. So it looks like this. We did the few rounds before. And it starts in down dog. So this one starts off, you do a little test run. When you lift a leg and you draw the knee to the armpit, if they don't touch, it might mean that you want to bring your down dog a smidge shorter. So I'm going to walk my feet in, lift a leg, and then as I draw the knee to the armpit, as high up as it can, I'm trying to clear. I'm not going to ask you to do the blocks. I'm just using them to show you. I'm trying to clear the imaginary blocks and bringing my chest so far forward that the back leg has room to lift. The front leg might straighten without this, yeah? This might be what it looks like, but I want you to think, hug the shoulder blades towards each other as you reach your chest forward. Yeah, this is what it might look like, which is what mine looked like for a very long time. Same action, but the idea is if you ice cream melt to the floor, can you ice cream melt further forward than straight down? Because that's the energy that we're looking for. You got to go forward to make space for what's to come in the back. If you saw that and you're like, I don't want to do it, please do exactly what we just did. Sometimes when you do the same thing the second time, you get more insight. You find a little, bless you, find a little bit more breath. So you can do the bolster and the block. You can do this version that I'll talk you through, but you get to choose and decide which direction you want to go. So if you're doing the bolster and the block, keep them where they are. If you're not, you can clear them out of the way. But let's all come one more time on the right and left, and then after this, we're lying down. Come into your downward facing dog, please, as you lift your hips to the sky. Just watch for your friends to the right. You might stagger slightly forward and back. But for those, let's all walk your feet a centimeter closer towards your wrists. Make your down dog a hair shorter than it was. And now lift your right leg to the sky. Draw your right knee to your right armpit and look forward. Clear the imaginary blocks. Bend your elbows. Think chest so far forward that when you bend your elbows, you might feel the left toes get a little lighter. Hop, 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 hop. And then maybe the right leg gets lighter. Maybe you straighten your right leg to the right. Maybe you look to the right, and when you don't want to do it ever again, you lay down. Very different. Like I mentioned, it goes from like, okay, I can breathe, I know where a foot is, to where am I, what have I done, very quickly. Questions about the version with no prop? I know. Yes.
So the arm that doesn't have a leg on it, in order to lift the body away from the arm, does that take just strength, or is there a certain thing to bring us closer to that?
I wish there was a trick. I wish I was just like, and then it just goes away. But I think it's me thinking, and Larry, Mariel, if you ask this question to them, I know that they'll have other insights. You should definitely reach out. Yeah, but then also you want to think the shoulder hugging back, the free shoulder, rather than, that's the muscle engagement I start to think of to build the strength in that arm. Yeah. But to the point, the question that was asked, what's that elbow doing? It can be for a long time, I used it underneath my hip, yeah, as another point. And when you use it under your hip, it gives you another little tidbit to hold on to. And then Kale's question is, how do you get it away? And I got it away by thinking, this. I got to keep lifting this. It wants to drop, but can I lift it? Even when everything wants to come against me. Teeter-tottering. Mm-hmm.
That's more the goal.
Ish, yeah. Yeah. Ish. Do you like these really firm answers to your question? Ish, maybe, do anything you want.
The question though, like, how much strength do I need to have? If you can just sort of stabilize the point so that you can lever forward.
Yes. That's exactly, it's architecture, it's levers, and then there is also an element of strength. But if we did all those chaturangas today, the strength is in there.
No, mine's gone.
No! Can we try one last side so I don't leave you too uneven, and then we'll lay down? Great questions, thank you. Come to your downward facing dog. With or without the bolsters, hands as wide as your mat, and take a breath or two here. And now lift your left leg up away from the ground. Draw your left knee to your left armpit. Think chest so far forward. Maybe the right elbow rests on your right hip. But as you clear the imaginary blocks, think chest forward, elbows back. Maybe it's hop, 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 hop of the back leg. Maybe it stays. And then when you do not want to do it again, the floor is so close to lay down against. Nice, Kale. Yes, that's it. Yay! By popular... Oh, yeah. Yeah, yesterday I made I forgot who Raygun was, the Australian breakdancer, but I was like, this could be it. Yeah. Do you know, we caught that reference? It felt like a lifetime ago, but I really came back. Yeah, face can definitely be on the floor to start, because there's a way that you come from here into chin stand, but we're not doing that. So your face has to be on the floor. You know, there's an infinite amount of possibilities, but for the sake of the more you hug your shoulder blades together, the lighter your face starts to get up off of the earth. Okay, let's lay down. Head towards me, feet to the back of the room. Can you have your block within a grabbable distance and your therapy balls within a reachable distance too? If you need any of those things, you can lay down, raise a hand, and I'm happy to bring some over to you. You got those? Thanks, Marcy. One person, yeah. I can bring them to her. I'll turn the lights down. Yeah. As you come to lay down on the ground, have your therapy balls off to the sides, have your block off to the side, bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor as wide as your mat, and let your hands rest on your body, on your belly or on your chest. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale out through your nose or mouth. And now watch for your props, for your neighbors, as we do a few windshield wipers with your knees bent, feet as wide as your mat. Take a big breath in and exhale to drop your knees to the right. Let the legs be heavy. Inhale to bring the knees back up through center, and big exhale to drop your knees to the left. Do that one more time with your breath, bringing the knees and feet through center. Let the belly be full and soft. Let the hips soften onto the earth, and let the back of your head be heavy against the ground. And after going evenly a few times from side to side, let your feet come right underneath your hips, close to your tush. We'll all take a few breaths in supported bridge. Shrug your shoulders to your ears. Wiggle your shoulder blades towards each other. Press down through your feet to lift your hips and slide that block to its lowest or second lowest height underneath your butt. Really let the weight of your hips be supported by the block beneath you. And once you find the block to your hips themselves, shrug your shoulders to your ears, snuggle the shoulder blades together. We can keep them up. And press the back of your head down into the ground. Your hands might rest on your body. They might rest alongside of you, on the mat itself, but take 3 slow, steady breaths at your pace. Can you call yourself back to the fullness of your breath? A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. That breath moves first in the direction of your heart. The heart awakens and illuminates the mind. And the mind inspires the full depth and agency of your body. So as you take another breath in, down, and wide, stay for the exhale as you offer all of that breath out. And now push down through your feet to lift your hips and slide that block out from under your tush. Bring your feet as wide as your mat, knock your knees into each other. Rest your hands on your belly or on your chest as you take a big breath into your palms and exhale out through parted lips to let all of that breath go. Give the right leg a hug in towards your chest. Straighten your left leg long out in front of you. And for a supine twist, as your left hand holds your outer right thigh, let the right leg move up and over to the left hand side, a twist on your back. Think of this less of how deep of a twist can you be in, how low can that right knee get to the earth, but how much can both shoulder blades really soften to the earth. I like to have a bolster or a block underneath that right thigh. You can stay here breathing. Or perhaps you bend your bottom left knee and reach your right hand around for the left foot. If you have a hold of that foot, kick your foot back into your hand and shrug that right shoulder up and back. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale as you offer that breath out. Now on your next inhale, release the hold of both legs. Uncross your legs and draw your knees and feet back through center. Feel both feet on the ground and give the left leg a hug in towards your chest or belly. Straighten your right leg long out in front of you. As your right hand holds your outer left thigh, move the left leg up and over to the right hand side with bolster, with a block, with any support underneath the leg, so the floor can meet you where you are. Your left hand might rest on you, alongside of you, but take a full breath in and a deeper breath out. If you did so on side one, you might bend your bottom right knee. Reach your left hand back for the pinky side edge of that left foot or the right foot. And if you are holding the foot, gently kick your foot back into your hand as you shrug that left shoulder up and back. A big breath in and a longer breath out. And on your next inhale, release the hold of your legs. Uncross them as you bring both feet to the floor and give your legs a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. You looking for this? Make some small circles in the hips or knees. You might lean ever so slightly from side to side. We've done a lot of asymmetrical work this evening, so see what it feels like to do something similar in the right and left. You might come into your version of happy baby. Your hands might catch the backs of your thighs, your ankles, or the pinky edges of your feet. And as your knees move towards the earth and the soles of your feet reach to the sky, take a big breath in and a longer breath out. And now the next place we'll meet as you release your legs to the earth is I'll talk you through some tennis ball work or therapy ball work in the upper back. You are more than welcome to set up early for rest. We'll meet you there momentarily. But for those that would like to do the therapy ball work in the back of your heart, you can keep them in their tote or take them out. With your knees bent, feet on the ground, lift your head and shoulders up off of the floor, and using your hands, pop the therapy balls to the very top of your shoulder blades from the upper back. They'll frame out your spine itself. They'll come to either side of your shoulder blades, somewhere in the upper back, the top tips. Once you find a place that you're interested in, that you can be curious about, take a long breath in through the nose and exhale out through parted lips to let all of that breath go. Take another breath in, down, and wide. As you exhale, let every drop of that breath out. You're more than welcome to stay here for a few breaths or to find one more new place. Press your knees bent, feet on the floor. Press through your legs to roll your body towards your head so the therapy balls come down your back. Can I move them a little closer for you? Lift your head up. Lift your shoulders up. Can you move your hair for a second? Sorry, I can't see. Thank you. And now come on down. How's that?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. As you find the second place in the middle of your shoulder blades, take a big breath in through the nose and open your mouth to let all of that breath go. There's so much to be done in stillness. You can keep your arms here heavy on you or alongside of you. Or perhaps you explore some gentle movement as you reach your arms up to the ceiling. Let the palms and fingers be soft. You might move your arms almost like seaweed in water or gentle figure eights. But see if you can move 10% slower than you are already as you take a full breath in and a longer breath out. And now lower your arms down by your sides if they're lifted. And for one more place with your knees bent, feet on the floor, press through your legs to roll your body another few inches to the top of your mat until those therapy balls come down to the bottom of your shoulder blades, still somewhere in the upper back, just slightly lower than before. As you take a deep breath in and exhale out through parted lips to let all of that breath go. Perhaps you stay here with those arms heavy. Or you might reach your arms up to the sky and give yourself a hug as if your hands are reaching for the therapy balls behind your back. You might lean gently from one side to the other or stay still. If you are giving yourself that embrace, you might switch which elbow is on top to take notice of any difference that you feel and see. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Now unwrap your arms if they're wrapped around you, and we'll begin that slow exit journey out. You can either scooch yourself towards the back of your mat so the therapy balls roll up your back. You can also roll over onto one side, push them out of the way, and come back to lay on the earth. But however they exit, see if you can let them fully come out for the remainder of rest. For if they stay in for Shavasana, not always, but sometimes, they create more tension than ease and softness. And the next place we'll meet is in your pose of rest. So some options, take anything that you need. Maybe it's the bolster underneath your knees so your low back can really settle to the earth. Maybe it's the bolster over your pelvis or belly, almost like a weighted blanket to ground you. You might let your hair down. You might set your glasses safely off to the side. But as you find any relatively symmetrical way to be, on the right or left side, you might lean into a side-laying Shavasana. But as you drape yourself onto the altar of the earth, let those eyes soften or fully close to listen for the sound of your breath. I'll talk you through a few rounds of pranayama, of some breath work to prepare the body for rest and to draw your attention deeply inward. I really invite you to follow your breath more than the sound of my voice. But for Viloma Pranayama, these suspended or interrupted breaths, start by taking an inhale through the nose to fill your belly and heart, and exhale through your nose to offer that breath out. Picture your next inhale in 3 separate parts. First inhale, breathe into your belly, retain. Breathe into your lungs, hold. Breathe into the back and front of your chest, pause. And exhale through your nose to offer that breath out. Hold at the very bottom as you begin again. Inhale to fill your belly, retain. Fill your lungs, hold. Fill the back and front of your chest, pause. And exhale through your nose to offer the breath out. Hold at the bottom. And begin again, 3 more rounds. Inhale to fill your belly, retain. Fill your lungs, hold. Fill the back and front of your chest, pause. And exhale through your nose to let that breath go. Hold at the bottom. Inhale, the belly fills, retain. Fill your lungs, hold. Fill your chest, gently pause. And exhale through your nose to offer that breath out. Last round. Inhale to fill your belly, retain. Fill your lungs, hold. Fill the back and front of your heart, pause. And exhale through your nose to offer that breath out. Without any holds or pauses, take a breath to fill the belly, the chest, the throat, up into the crown of your head. And exhale to let all of that breath go. Begin to find the slow, rhythmic cadence of your breath. And it's here, each breath dissolves the entire practice that was. Each breath helps you arrive to where you are now. And every breath that comes after makes space for what has yet to come. So as you let your breath, let your body become heavier into the ground, the heavier your physical body becomes, the lighter, the more luminous and more expansive you may begin to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a deeper breath out. Take another breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to awaken the body that you are in with any gentle movement that feels sweet to you. You might roll your wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against its support. Or just being mindful of those around you and any props. Perhaps you reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your chest. But when the time comes, we'll all meet with the knees bent, arms overhead, as you roll over to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. Take a breath or two here against the ground. And when the time comes, push down into the floor and come up to rise to a tall seat, the very same way we began. You might sit on your props with your legs crossed or knees underneath. But as you soften or close your eyes, take a deep breath in, down, and wide. And exhale to offer the breath up and out in every direction. Our time together will finish with one more of those same breaths. You can gather your hands to anywhere that feels like center for you. As you take a deep breath in, to let it all go. You might bow your head to your hands or gently lift your hands towards your head. In such a simple yet sweet gesture of self-reverence, bowing to your heart and the hearts of each other who practiced right alongside next to you. And with all of our hearts, Marcy and I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. You mind getting the lights? Thank you. Thank you. Drink water. Take great care of yourselves and each other. Drink some more water after that. Marcy's slowly turning the lights on. But for any props that you used, the bolsters, Adriana calls them, they go as little Lincoln logs, because if they stack right on top of each other, they fall. So if you could Lincoln log the bolsters. And then fringe side to the wall for the blankets. It's just very helpful to keep the space so tidy for all of us that use it. Announcements. Alex, who teaches weekly classes here, who's one of the greatest teachers of all time, is offering an upside down workshop this Friday. So if you're interested in, it's called Inversion Diversion, which I find to be very sweet. But it's this Friday night. And her teaching style is incredible. Her assists are incredible. If going upside down is ever something you've been interested in, Friday's a great place to be. And then also next weekend, over the river, through the woods in West Philly, where I live, my friend John Jock, we both teach at Studio 34 too. He's offering a couple of partner Thai massage workshops, and I was his demo last year for it. And I haven't been able to stop talking about it since, because it was the sweetest thing I've ever done. You can bring a friend, a sweet one, a beloved, and he teaches you through a sequence and then walks around with chocolates. It's so cute. I don't know times, I don't know dates. All I can tell you is that if you Google John Jock Studio 34 Thai massage, it will lead you in the right direction. But I think that's it for me. Anyone else have? Beloved Keyshawn is here, who owns the most beautiful store, More Vintage Archive on 4th Street, Dream City. Come through. Anyone else have things that you're seeing, you're going to?